Hey, soul warrior, are you feeling down or stuck in your life? Well, what if we told you that there's a way to raise your vibration permanently? It's time to discover the secrets of lasting transformation and step into the radiant energy that you were always meant to embody. Are you ready to elevate your vibration and transform your life? Stay tuned to discover the tools and the ultimate key to a higher frequency and a happier life. I am so excited to talk about vibration because I remember the day when it clicked for me and
Mhm.
I was able to maintain that vibration. We're going to go through a whole bunch of tools and personal experiences on our journey to stepping into this. And please stick around to the end because we're going to tell you what that ultimate key is to permanently shift the vibration so you don't have to play this back and forth game anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Good to be back.
It is good to have Wolf back. As many of you know, she's been off healing from a surgery. So this is her first pod back in 2 or 3 or 4 of them. I can't even remember anymore, but she's feeling much better. So thank you all for your well wishes. That
Mhm.
was high vibe assistance in her
Absolutely.
healing. And
Really,
it,
really appreciated it.
yeah,
I
super
felt it
grateful.
all. Thank you.
And this is a good kickoff because I know very low vibrational place that we were in the last few weeks was the emergency room.
Oh my God, that was insane. I mean, like real time shifting your vibration. And one of the key things about shifting your vibration is mindset. So, sitting in the waiting room or in the ER itself and feeling all those dense energies,
Mhm.
like, people were in pain, they were scared, there was a lot of different very low vibration energy going through. And I remember sitting there saying to myself, shifting my mindset by saying, instead of it that I'm in pain, I would say to myself, I'm experiencing discomfort, detaching myself from owning what was actually happening in my body, but which gave me the opportunity to emanate a lot of higher vibration because I got into the higher vibration where I felt okay, where my mindset was on point, where things just clicked so that I can be okay being in such a dense environment. And I remember, like, it just went into that slight thing. Now, mind you, I was highly medicated at the time too, which made it a little easier because there was a lot less resistance mentally. So it just, like, when I started getting into it, I'm like, okay, I need to really amplify my vibration because this is way too dense for me to continue in. And I know that I had hours upon hours of being there. So
Right. I mean, we were just in the waiting room before even being called for over 8.5
oh my
hours. So, and
goodness,
I was
yes.
not medicated.
Yeah.
I mean, you had people getting really angry because people were in agony. People were bleeding. The ambulances were rolling up and they were just dropping people in the lobby because they couldn't accept any more people back in the ER. So nobody was an emergency all of a sudden. Huge backup. So I had to really tap into, like, okay, what do I do when things don't work for me? I go to that center, the center of the storm. And I got really peaceful. And I did a quick little meditation, just closed my eyes, did my transcendental meditation, tapped in, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold space as much as I can, starting with myself, bridging out to her, and then whatever else is left because of the power of the law of resonance. I knew would drip around to everybody else.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of empathy and compassion for the scared, for the angry, for the pain, for everything that was going on, the frustration, and then just started, like, sending a lot of love to people because it would have been really, really easy to get stuck in the other people's complaining and complaining along with them, or the angry that the little kids were running around sneezing on everybody who was already ailing. There was just a lot of different things going on. So being able to pay attention to where my vibration was and shifting it back was key. I remember when we were eating out, actually, this was several months back, we were having a really good conversation. We were talking about soul intentions, actually, and everything was flowing. It was fun. We were having a great time.
Mm.
And then this person rolled up and they were sitting at a table pretty close to us and pulled out the phone on as high as they could get it and was watching some, like, screaming TV show in a different language on top of it. And it was just like, I I was
Wow.
like, it was very distracting. And then I started to be like, what the hell? That is so rude. And I'm like, ooh, I'm complaining.
Hmm.
So I shifted my attention that had been on the intention of us having a nice business meeting over dinner to my attention went to lower vibration. And then I, through the law of resonance, started decreasing my own vibration, diminishing it by getting into that complaining place.
Right, right,
So catching that, pulling it back, like, yep, that's annoying. That's it. Oh, okay. Let's get
mm,
back to business. Or maybe let's just sit here and eat until the noise
right.
stops.
This is the beauty about this whole design is we get to exercise real time our tools. We really do. Like being in environments like that and you being so incredibly aware that your energy is depleting, that you're becoming unbalanced, that your mood is shifted, that your thoughts have shifted. When you are aware of all those things, you automatically go into balance again.
Mhm.
You start to, you pause, like we've said before. You pause and you take a breath, and you center yourself, and you're like, okay, now you're putting yourself in an environment where you're like, I'm in control of how I'm going to feel, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to act, and it's going to be in accordance with my values and the vibration in which I want to emanate versus the vibration that's coming at me.
Mhm.
Real time, that's when we get to practice. And like when you have that opportunity, please take it, because the more you do it, the better muscle you create, and it becomes so easy, and it becomes an everyday thing. And every time you catch yourself um sliding into those lower
Oh,
vibration,
yeah.
you start to automatically, it's like, nope, this isn't mine. I am going to shift this. I don't need to go there. It doesn't serve me. I'm going to go do something else.
Exactly. So I just want to reiterate what she said with pay attention to what you do, what you say, and how you act, because all those are your choice. If they're on autopilot, you are not sitting in awareness and you are not sitting in that place of you deciding and managing your vibration and your frequency.
Hmm.
So once you pay attention to those things, you will notice that what starts to shake out is patterns, like falling into complaining or pointing out what other people are doing wrong, attaching into those lower vibrations. So instead of you resonating where you want to, what your frequency set point is, and affecting everything around you, you're letting everything around you affect you, which means you're being real small and saying that everything around you is just real big, which is the exact opposite of spirituality, because within is without.
Mm.
So diminishing and taking on that, the resonance of what's around you, nobody wants that,
No,
but we
no.
do it automatically. And this is not your fault unless you are purposely choosing not to be aware of it.
Right. And that's the thing. When we're aware of ourselves, that's so key here, because you automatically know when something isn't yours.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start to do whatever it is that you need to do to shift that vibration, to shift that mindset, to shift that feeling or mood. You automatically know that you like kind of like shake it off, if you will, so that you're not entering into something you really have no business being in. Like, you know, being in the emergency room, I had to be there because clearly I was going through something. Um, but I didn't have to participate in the energy that was flowing through. And I consciously made that choice by saying, this isn't feeling great. I already don't feel great. I don't need to continue to let that flow through me. So I deliberately shifted my mindset so that it can be in a more positive, balanced place, so that then my energy can be emanating out into that, or creating a bubble, if you will, for myself, so that it doesn't penetrate through. And you can do that real time, very super easy, by like I was saying, you take a breath, meditate. I went into like meditation very quickly too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was aware of what was going on around me. but still I went into, silent meditation so that I can, again, stay balanced during those moments.
Right, because meditation is your gateway to allow, like, whatever the body's feeling, it can bubble up and you're just staying present with it. Whatever the monkey brain is chattering, you're just staying present with it. And it gives space for spirit, for your soul to speak and to take over. So if she hadn't done that, and I'll back up to a year ago, you were in the emergency room with the same issue.
Mhm.
And she went down the rabbit hole of, this is ridiculous, get me out of here, blah, blah, blah. Now, if she had left, she would have died because she needed medical treatment.
Mhm.
But she went down that rabbit hole, and she was in the hospital for almost a week. Her potassium levels, like everything was just dropped like
Mhm.
crazy. And it made it much more difficult, much harder.
And it was because I let myself go into that rabbit hole
Yep.
that it became worse. That what was going on within me already was a problem. It all the energies around me, because I decided to dive in deep,
Mm-hmm.
consciously or subconsciously, I dove in, and it just made a mess of my body, of my spirit, of my mind, the whole thing. And I was just like done. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here. And like she said, if I had gone home, I probably would have died.
So if you notice that your pain is amplified, your frustration is amplified, your discomfort is amplified, your I don't want to be here is amplified,
Yeah.
that is your cue. Stop, pause, breathe, reset. You need to do something. Now, it can be meditation. It can be music. Music is a huge one. I personally like to use classical music because it's been studied. It vibrates most classical at the rate of clarity and relaxation and creating like a peaceful frequency within your body. Or some of it, like my favorite is Johann Sebastian Bach, resonates a little bit higher than that because of this law of resonance where you sync up with the vibrations that are around you, or they sync up with you, vice versa. If I don't want to sync with what's around me and I'm having trouble maintaining my own vibration, I can put classical on. Or even if I am fine, like if I'm studying or I'm writing, I will put it on because it helps just support and maintain my vibration a lot easier because it resonates at the vibration I want to be at.
Right, right. And for me, it's house music, is it's all about beats and things like this. Be really, really careful of the words of the music that you're tuning into also, because words have a certain vibration. And if it's about, shit that isn't going to be serving you in any way, shape, or form, now you're not that's repeating into your being, and also, you know, shifting your vibration as well to a more lower when you're looking for it to be higher. So be very really mindful of the kind of music you listen to when you want to shift your vibration, because that's really, really important, because the words do matter.
Yeah, they're like spells and prayers if you want to put them that
Yeah,
way.
totally.
So like if you're going through, say, a breakup, or you're just in a relationship that's not satisfying you, and you're listening to a song over and over again of, he's screwing me over, or he doesn't even see me and all this stuff, or she, insert whatever. If you're amplifying what your discomfort and your dissatisfaction already is through the words, I mean, it's okay, like, when you hear the song come on and you're like, "Oh, that's hitting me right in the feels because that's how I feel right now."
Mhm.
And you're like, "All right, I'm recognizing that. I'm letting that emotion, using this song to let it flow out of me, through me and out of me. And now I'm putting on something higher vibrational, something that's speaking what I want to be, who I want to be, and what I want to step into." I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. Unlock the secrets of your soul for free with Soul Notes. Say goodbye to feeling stuck and hello to the validation of your alignment. These weekly prompts are filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Don't just take our word for it. Try Soul Notes for yourself and see the difference it can make in your life. Trust us, your soul and you will thank you. Just go to soulnote.org. That's SOULNOTE.org. Now back to our podcast, because that's the vibration that I want to synchronize with. So we're being really super careful what you're watching on television, who you're following on social media. And we just both had somebody, two people actually, that we followed for a really long time in the spiritual community. And they've, for some reason, hard righted recently really into a lot of ego, a lot of, we are right and everything you all believe is wrong. And there's no other way except the way that we're going. And there's a unique way for each of us in this world. There is no absolute right or wrong. It's what is right for you.
Right. And when you get into the vibration of tearing somebody down or something down, that's you trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Um
Build yourself up.
build yourself up or make up for something that you're lacking. So, and that kind of energy just doesn't sit right with me. Like I've enjoyed their stuff. Um they're a couple, and I really enjoyed their stuff back in the day. But lately is just that lower energy just wasn't hitting me, and I completely I didn't have to go verbalize.
Yeah.
I didn't do any
You don't
of
want
that
to add
shit.
to that
I just
vibration.
unfollowed.
Yep.
Period.
It's just like on a dating app where you're like, nope, not for me. Yep, that's for me. Nope, not, this is what we want you to do with
And
your
that's
regular
that's
life.
the beauty of the choices that we have.
That's why radios have different channels. That's why
Exactly.
there's different streaming apps, different channels on
I
television.
personally decided to tune into something different.
Yeah.
Not them.
Exactly.
Done. End the story. You don't have to be an asshole about shit like that.
And sometimes I'll see something that doesn't resonate with me, but if I followed somebody for a long time, I'm like, okay, maybe they're just having an off day or they're going through something, and I just kind of witness it and I don't resonate with that and I keep moving. But after I get sometimes I know right away when to disconnect with somebody, but sometimes it's just like, all right, now we're being consistent with this low vibration stuff that I'm not jiving with. So I'm just going to unfollow, and that automatically raises my vibration because I'm taking that out of my space. So it's not something that's going to affect me.
For sure. And that's the thing with this stuff. The more you learn your lower vibrational patterns, the better, because then you know exactly what you need to do to have higher vibrational patterns. And the way you can do that, meditation is one. Gratitude. Gratitude is big here. I mean, be grateful for everything that you have in your life. I think that's so important. It shifts your frequency in such a way that not only does it shift it, but it also opens it up.
Right. Expands it.
Expands it, yeah, so that other things that are worth you looking at and exploring come into play. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So those are, different little things that you can practice so that you can have higher vibration.
And here's a couple of beliefs that we commonly see during our coaching that pop up for people, and see if this resonates with you. Do you ever say change is hard? A lot of people, well, change is hard. Or, well, I've been doing all the work, but it's getting more and more uncomfortable. So I'm feeling more and more frustrated. So it's not working. Yeah. It has to get uncomfortable because you have to step outside of the comfort zone where you've been stuck for a long time and you got used to that. So you know who you are over here. You know who you are in the relationship that's not satisfying you. You know who you are in this job that it feels totally soul sucking to you. And so what are you doing? Again, going back to what is your attention and what is your intention? Now, if your intention is you want a really loving, fulfilling relationship, you want a job that's like your passion, then that lights you up. But all your attention is on he did, she did, the job did, the boss did, I don't like this all the time. Then this isn't going to be able to come in. There's no room for it. There's no room for your intention. So first check your intention so you know where you're headed and what you want to step into. But then you want to go back. Where is my attention focused? And this is the number one key that we wanted to talk about, how to shift this frequency permanently, not just this in and out. Permanently is awareness. We've mentioned it several times. It's showed up in all the examples that we've given. So how are you aware of what this intention is doing? And we're not saying, I'm not going to put any intention on this relationship or this job anymore. I'm just going to focus on what I don't have yet, because then you're going to sit in lack of I don't have it, but I want, I want, I want. When you sit in I want all the time, that's lack, that's lower vibration. You may think because your intention is a higher place for you and where you want to go, that it's higher, but it's not if your attention isn't matching. So we're not disconnecting from a relationship and job. When we go to the job, we are still showing up fully because that is in alignment with our values of showing up and um, being a good steward to whatever your job is or whatever your relationship is.
Right,
Then,
right,
when you're on a break or after you get out of work, my full attention is on how do I move towards my passion? How am I researching? Am I putting out resumes? Am I starting at night a business that is my passion to start building that while I'm still over here? Am I ready to leave this relationship, or do I want to work on it? Now, if I want to work on it, I'm still always showing up in kindness. I'm still always showing up with respect because those are my core values. Attention does not mean taking your love away from something or compromising your core values. So, how am I showing up in that relationship? Okay, if I still want to stay in it, where's my intention and my intention going? How do I improve my communication? How do I do more loving acts for myself and for the person that I'm with? How do I connect deeper with myself and with the person I'm with? You see what I'm saying? You're not just like I'm taking my attention away from there and I'm putting it over here, but then that's not there. So now I'm in a frustrated place again. We're watching our attention, we're watching our intention, we're calling ourselves on it consistently.
yeah, for sure. When you were talking, I was remembering the time where my my vocabulary was all about that's just the way I am.
Hmm.
And that particular that's just the way I am was based upon all the hurt, all the crap, all the things that I had gone through. It had nothing to do with who I am today. And that was one of the biggest mind shift I ever made in my life ever, because that's when I became aware that that story was beginning to be my coat, if you will, when it wasn't who I was within. So being aware is key. Being mindful, key. Being open to the new vibrations, to the new ways of things, of the person that you are today, that's important.
Right. When you recognize that we are a different person in every single moment, because scientifically in physics, it has been proven energy is constantly moving, it's constantly evolving, it's never static, it never stays the same. So neither are you. So, is what you're paying attention to, is it serving you? Is it what you really want? Is it who you really are? Or is it a bunch of old story?
Hmm.
And story is constantly changing too. You think it's a memory, like you're like going into a jukebox and pulling up that record and that you're playing that same old song again, but it's not, because every time it comes up, we're adding it to whatever the current situation is. We're adding a little tidbit, a little bit of different energy because that person did the same thing to me that this old person did. Then we're putting it back and then we're pulling it up again over here and we're adding a little bit. It's constantly changing. So it's constantly shifting with you, which is building that low vibration of exactly what you don't want.
Right,
Now,
right.
imagine if you did that with high vibration songs, with high vibration memories. You're pulling in, yep, joy. Yep, bring me joy, bring me love, bring me happiness. I'm going to tap into all of those things. And that's where I'm going to live. That's where I'm going to dwell. That's where I'm going to exist because that's who the hell I am.
Yeah. I mean, it going on the same wavelength as she was saying is like, taking an LP and trying to listen to it in a 45 frequency. It's
Mm,
not going to work. For you younger folks, it's like taking 3G and trying to make 5G work within that. I mean, you think about it, they're completely different vibrations. So, and like you said, we're constantly changing. The energies are constantly flowing. Whether, so when we're saying like, um, I'm afraid of change, or I don't like to change, it's happening regardless.
right.
You are never ever the same person you were a minute ago. Period. So accept that, honor that, value that, so that you know that every single moment of every single day, there is a different part of you coming out. There is a different part of you going away. There is a different part of you expanding because the frequency and the energies are doing the same. So honor that and be mindful of that.
And this is where we talk about getting into flow. So picture that you're gaming and then you're on dial up.
Mm,
That's not going to work
nope.
at all whatsoever. So when you drop into lower vibrations, your flow stops, just like your gaming would.
Yeah.
If you have the 5G, you're gaming and everything's smooth. Now, if buffering starts to happen and it starts to glitch, that's just you in the waves of life because different energies are coming at you or different feelings and emotions are coming up. So, how can you honor that, flow with it, and plug back into that 5G so you can continue on with your game? Because that's all this life is.
Mhm.
It's a matrixy little game that we're all just playing right now. And the one thing I know about video games is they are all programmed for whoever you are as the player. You are the main character in that game right now. And it is programmed for you to go through a bunch of challenges, the hero's journey, the spiritual
Mhm.
journey, awakening, whatever you want to call it. Go through all those challenges. The ultimate goal is to reach higher and higher levels and win at the end of the game. So, what do? I mean, any age that has played a video game, you keep showing up and then you're like, ah, crap, when you like die on a level or something. But you don't just give up. Maybe in the moment you're like, oh, screw this game. But you come back to it and you keep going and you keep practicing and you keep getting better. And then every time you get a little higher, a little higher. This is the same with vibration.
Yeah, yeah.
Have fun with it.
Exactly. And I was just going to say, and the total win for that, for us playing this life game, is joy. It's happiness. It's love. It's being in that energy that fills every part of your being. And that's usually happiness and
Mhm.
joy.
I remember when you were back in the day when you were first starting a lot of your spiritual journey and you were having trouble with like depression and anxiety and
Yeah.
all that. And I know she loves little dogs. So I was like printing out these pictures of little dogs and like leaving them on the steering wheel of her car.
Yeah.
And at the time you thought minions were funny. So I'm like, I printed out some
Yeah.
minions going, hooray, and wrote rule the world over the top of it and
Yeah.
left it on the bathroom mirror, like did all these things so that she found little surprises throughout the day that made her smile, that put her into that joy place,
Yeah.
that tapped her into things that were high vibrational. So this is like an example of something
Right.
simple you can do for
Listen,
yourself.
a simple freaking smile
Mhm.
shifts your vibration.
Yeah.
Now it takes you all of but a hot minute to smile. Okay. So when if you're sitting there saying, there's no way that I can do that. Da, 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 da," no, a simple freaking smile shifts you right away. Moving your body, doing this shifts your vibration right away. You know, things like that, very small things. You don't have to go out of your way to shift your vibration. Just simple little things. Stay in joy.
Mhm.
Love the things that you love. Honor the things that you're honoring, and just stay in that love vibration. And when you're aware of it going kind of someplace else, pause.
Right.
Done. And get back on track.
If life or spirituality gets too hard, you have too much input of things that aren't serving you. Maybe you're constantly in the cycle of looking like I spent a lot of time in like, well, how do I do that? How do I, how, collecting and trying the tool and it not working. And it just got really super frustrating. It wasn't lighting me up. Now I start listening to a video, and if I'm resonating with the person and it's making sense, I'm like, okay, my vibration is matching this. This is high vibe to me, and I keep listening. And if not, or somebody switches, unsubscribe or go to a new video. This is supposed to work for you. If it's too hard, you're missing something, dial it back. This is you walking yourself home. So it's your choice to stay in that vibration permanently because you've decided in every moment you can be a new you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it, folks. Be kind.
Peace.
Peace.